your pastry, bakery, and quality food, CK Restaurant is the only place to be. We do catering for birthdays, weddings, and all related services. We have all kinds of local foods, American, European, and even beyond. Come and have a taste of our local juice, ebe, and other services. At CK Restaurant, customer satisfaction is our priority.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3, or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151, or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
your pastry, bakery, and quality food, CK Restaurant is the only place to be. We do catering for birthdays, weddings, and all related services. We have all kinds of local foods, American, European, and even beyond. Come and have a taste of our local juice, ebe, and other services.
Hello and welcome to the American International University, West Africa, here in Banjul, the Gambia. And it's my pleasure to welcome the ladies here tonight from the United Democratic Party, from GDC, from GMC, and from APRC. You will recall we had a debate here a few weeks ago, and we had said we wanted to continue these debates since we're going into an election on the 4th of December 2021. And as it is culture everywhere else in the civilized world, we'd like to have debates and talk about ideas of policies and of alternative leadership and alternative governments, so the voter get to decide which political party actually represent their best interests to earn their vote. It is on the same journey that we meet here today, but to do it slightly differently, to have the debate with 4 ladies from 4 of these political parties, each of whom will talk about policies, of positions, of plans for women, youth, and children of the country. Ladies, I'm very proud of you and the fact that you accepted our invitation to be here with us. We're very grateful as ever to our sponsors who support us in this endeavor, beginning with Saul Fraser of Global Properties. This time, the National Council for Civic Education has also added their voice. They feel it's their role and duty to conduct civic education in the country, in fact, in relation to elections. Also, APS have also joined in our group of sponsors today. And DK Telecoms have agreed to provide us internet services here today, and therefore becoming our sponsors. Tonight's debate, the rules are easy. 5 minutes will be given to each of these ladies here, beginning with Ms. Yamundau, to talk about GDC, their positions, or anything she wants to discuss about party policy in relationship to an introduction of who she is, what role she's playing in the party. From her, we will go to Tida Kijera. From Tida Kijera, we'll go to Honorable Yakumba Jaite, and then to Fatou Jallo of APRC. This is the way we're going to lay out the rules today, but also at the end of this, we will ask each other questions directly, but we'll also be dictating that each would have a minute or up to 90 seconds to respond to a question, and each of you would also have 1 minute to borrow up to 3 times in the next 90 minutes. So if you're in the middle of an argument or response and you've not completed, you are allowed to borrow a minute. But you cannot do this more than 3 times during the course of the 90 minutes. If the rules are clear, ladies, may we begin with Ms. Yamundau Faye of GDC. The floor is all yours.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yamundau Fatou Faye. I am 27 years of age. I am part of the regional committee, KM Regional Committee, of which I am the PRO. I am so humbled to be part of this debate because it is high time we let women speak their mind and be in leading roles when it comes to politics. So the party I am from is Gambia Democratic Party, which is the GDC, and our color is purple. Our party leader is His Excellency Honorable Mama Kande. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yamundau Faye, GDC. If you may turn your mic off. And next is Ms. Tida Kijera of GMC, and you also have up to 5 minutes to introduce yourself, your party, your policies, and anything in relation to an introduction that you may want to do up to 5 minutes. The floor is all yours.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tida Kijera. I am the Chief Executive Media Officer for my party, GMC. GMC is Gambia Moral Congress. I am honored to be part of this great event today to represent my party. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I thank the organizers. I thank the leadership of my party for giving me this opportunity to come here today. As a country, we are encountering a lot issues which are affecting our lives. As a nation, we need to come together to fight for the betterment of our people. GMC as a party, we are trying all our best to know exactly what Gambians want, and we are ready to tackle those problems. As we go further, the topic today is about women, youth, and children. We will explain to you why GMC should give the opportunity to rule this country. So I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Madam Tida Kijera of GMC. The next speaker is the Honorable Yakumba Jaite of UDP. You have the floor for up to 5 minutes to introduce yourself, your political party, your position as in relation to the topic today.
Thank you very much, Aruna. Thank you for creating this platform for us to debate, particularly on this topic today, women, youth, and children. My names are Yakumba Jaite. I'm the female Secretary General of the Secretary General of the Female Youth Wing of the United Democratic Party. The United Democratic Party, we've just celebrated on the 23rd of August, 25 years of existence. 25 hard years, I would say. 25 years we were in the forefront of fighting for the rights and democracy of the Gambian people. As we are now approaching the December elections, today I have the opportunity, representing my party, to explain to you our policies in regards to women, youth, and children. The United Democratic Party intends to institute a capable government. We are going to do this by relying on our diversities and professionalisms. We would all agree that the United Democratic Party has the highest capacity of personnel, and we are confident we are going to deliver. We are confident we are going to win in the 2021 December elections. And in doing so, the United Democratic Party has identified women, youth, and children, giving the population demographic of youth, women, and children in this country. The statistics shows that 72.4% of the population are youth and women combined. Therefore, the United Democratic Party, at the heart of its policy considerations, put these two constituencies into consideration, that is the youth and women. And as a result, the UDP will rely on agriculture as a prime sector for investment to raise income, reduce poverty, and create food security and employment for youth and women. This is the plan, and as we have time, we would move forward to explain in detail to you how this is going to be funded and how we arrive at these policy decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Yakumba Jaite, UDP. The final speaker for the opening session is Fatou Jallo of APRC. Ma'am, you have the floor for up to 5 minutes.
Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. My name is Honorable Fatou Jallo from the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, that is the mighty APRC. I am very much grateful to be here today. I want to thank my party leaders for giving me the opportunity to come and attend this important meeting, gathering today. APRC is not a party that is not known in the Gambia. We have been ruling this country for 22 years with massive achievements, massive development in the country, that is to empower women and to empower youths. And we have done a lot to empower youths in this country. And, we have done a lot of achievements which will be discussed later, maybe in the discussions, because APRC is known worldwide. We have transformed the Gambia, changed the Gambia. You know, the name of Gambia before was not recognized. When you say Gambia, people think it's Zambia. But because of the APRC government, that is why Gambia is known worldwide. We have done a lot of achievement. We have bring the TV and other things in this country. So it's a party of difference, and it's a party of development. So I am very grateful to be here today. And as the discussion goes, we will discuss more about what APRC have done for this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Fatou Jallo. If you may turn your mic off. And for the media, Keba Kamara is here. If you have any questions, you can begin giving him the questions so that we may expedite the process this time as opposed to what happened the last time. And then we may get the flow of the questions faster and better. So jot your questions, share with Keba Kamara, and we will get it here, inshallah. So we're coming back to you, Yamundao Fai. Do you have a reaction to anyone here and any of the statements for up to 1 minute, 30 seconds?
Sorry. I don't have any reactions because initially I thought you said we should just introduce ourselves. But now that they've done that, I've understand better. So I'll use this 1 minute to say a little bit of my party.
Go ahead.
GDC government will be reform all sectors, institutions, and parastatals. And all enterprises all through the Gambia, because we believe it will bring closer the people and services to our country. We are not only going to focus on government and the other parastatals. We'll go down to the grassroots and meet the other people, like the local governments, from the chiefs and the alcalos. When it comes to women empowerment in a GDC government, even before we are a government, now that we're a shadow government, most positions in the GDC executive members are women. We have a deputy women mobile, we have a deputy
Party leader?
We have a deputy party leader who is a woman. We have a youth president who is young. We have the youngest press secretary. We also have the youngest parliamentarian, if not only in Gambia, but in the whole of Africa. So which means GDC are not sidelining young people and women. Thank you.
Thank you. We will come to you again, Tida Kijera. If you have any reactions to any of the statements that were made earlier here, up to 90 seconds.
Definitely, I don't have any reactions. I just thank them for their commitment for the country.
Honorable Yakumba Jaite, any reactions? 90 seconds.
Mr. Drame, thank you very much. Again, I would just like to congratulate the women for taking this opportunity to come and represent their parties. It's a bold decision to be here. This is not common in this jurisdiction. Debates in particular, we've seen the first one between Mr. Sala and Mr. Cisse, so we are the second batch. It's a great thing to do, and I would just encourage that we come forward. Since we are 51% of the population, it is our rights to be heard. It is our right to be part of the decision-making processes of this country. And again, I would say that the United Democratic Party is committed to 30% of representation of women, both in cabinet and parliament as a government. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. If you may turn your mic off, Ms. Yamundao. And finally, to Fatou Jallow, APRC, any reactions up to 90 seconds?
Yeah, I have no reactions. The only thing I want to do is to thank my party for being very much conscious in how to empower women. Because if you go to the youth sector in my party, I am the second deputy youth mobilizer, and the women mobilizer and other structures, they are trying to empower more women to be part of any decision making in the party. So that's a great achievement, and I am also urging that Gambian women, it's high time for us to get up. We were clapping for men, buying Asobi's cooking. It's high time the men also clap for us, because we need to be there. There are a lot of issues affecting women. It's because we don't have women representation in where decision making is done. So I think it's high time for us women to get up, and fight for the seat, to be in front, so that whatever decision is going to be made, we will be there to decide for our women. Because women know women problem than men. So if women issue come, the men, they don't know how we suffered or what are the challenges we are facing. They cannot defend us. But if we are there at the forefront, at the decision making, we will be able to bring a lot of changes in the sight of women. I thank you.
Thank you, Fatou Jallow, APRC. My timekeeper, I'm not keeping time. You said you were going to. So I'm waiting for your signs and your signals. Okay, great. And now we're going to go to the first segment of the debate today, which will be talking about women. I think we will likely maintain the order that we go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is fair. Are we all on board with that? So we go on women. Now we're going to start with your party, GDC. When you say women, what do your party think of women? Who are women? How do we relate with women? What can we do for them? What's your stance as far as women are concerned in the country?
Thank you, Haruna. My party thinks highly of women because, like I said earlier, there's nothing we decide or anything that has to do with the party that we don't represent women or send women representatives. And I think this platform is an example. So we are trying to empower women not only by putting them into positions, but by molding them in our systems, giving them educational support, providing training and skills trainings for them when it's necessary, because as we know, not all the women in Gambia are educated. Some are uneducated. But that in my party level, that means you're not useful. You could use skills to train you. We could also train women how to use resources. And those who are educated, we try to improve their standards for them to get quality education, and also put them up in platforms to mold them into leadership. Those are the issues I want to outline as of now.
Thank you very much, Yamundao. Next would be Tida Kijera. Now, Tida, let me ask you, what is your party's position or any policies on female genital mutilation or female circumcision, in other words?
Alhamdulillah, I'm back again. As a party, we know 51% of our population are women. Empowering them is among our first priorities. But protecting them too is another priority for us. Under GMC government, we will never sit and see women crying in this country. When you talk about the genital mutilation, it is a very complicated issue in the country. Because if you look at the issue seriously, There are religious leaders who are in support of it, but there are other people too who doesn't support it. As a party, we will stand with the people. There are issues we cannot impose on the society. We have to talk to them, and we have to find out the implications women are getting from it. And if they did not go through it, what is going to happen to them? We need to consult to know the problems it will cost, and after it, what is going to happen to them. So as a party, under the leadership of GMC, we need to find those solutions before we take an action on issues. But what we believe, their life will be protected. If I still have the time, I want to talk about some other policies we have for women. First policies for women is their health is our concern.
I was going to say, if we would answer the question and stay in lane now, it will be great.
If we?
If we would stay in lane to the answer to the question, FGM, what's your party's policy on it? If you feel you've exhausted it, we can move to the next person. We will come to the other policies as we go along, hopefully.
Okay, that is what I have. Thank you.
So that means you don't have a policy yet. You are saying you would listen to the public, whatever the public say, you will react to it. Is that your policy?
No, what I'm saying.
Yes, on FGM.
For FGM,
yes,
we need to investigate as a government.
Yes.
It is our responsibility because we need to find out the implications in the FGM.
Okay.
So the reaction of the people, what affects them, we have to know as a government. So it will be our responsibility to tackle that situation on that time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Honorable Yakumba Jaite, access to land, ownership of property. We know how hard Gambian women work. My mother is from Sukuta, and we know how our parents, our women suffer. Yet, they don't get to own property. Access to land is a major challenge. What would a UDP government do regarding this? And if you already do have an existing policy on it?
Thank you.
Your mic has to be on.
Thank you, Aruna. First of all, before I go to my question, I would just like to state UDP's stance on FGM. I think this is a very important issue.
No, we'll make it as a reaction. You will react to those later.
A reaction, just as
yes,
simple. As the UDP government, we have a strong stance and zero tolerance on violence of any form against women and girls. I would just like to put that out there.
Let's go to property. We'll come back.
Yes, so we'll come back.
Yes.
Okay. You've said it, that women are into, for example, I would say farming and access to land. It's a problem in this country. A UDP government will make sure of equal and fair distribution of our resources, be it land or anything else, and would also encourage women to own property. I have been working for FLAC, and we have going around, particularly in upcountry, there in even certain communities that women feel they have no right to own land. So they only borrow this land from their family members and farm and be paying them back from their proceeds. But with the UDP government, we will ensure, particularly the women in the farming area, to teach them that they have the right to own land, to make land accessible to the women, and have a fair distribution of our resources. This is our policy.
Thank you, Honorable Yakumba. Honorable Fatou Diallo. Marital rape is a concern in Gambia. What would be the APRC's policy about rape, but with particular focus on marital rape?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Drame, for that question. APRC is a party that has very good regards for women, and we don't want any violence on women. Our policy on that marital rape, we are going to say zero tolerance to marital rape. If that is done to any woman, we will like to get the report and we will take an action towards it, because we don't need women to suffer in marriage, much more in rape. So we are going to say zero tolerance to that, and we are not going to allow that.
Tolerance, and we are not going to allow that. You may turn off your mic as well, Ms. Honorable Yakumba. And now, Madam, any reaction to any of the responses as far as these questions are concerned? Any reactions? Do you have any opinion about marital rape or FGM or access to land and ownership of property in the Gambia?
I have a reaction on genital mutilation, which is FGM. We are in a country that people are Muslims, because I'm talking from my own point of view. Like she rightly says, these are issues we should sit.
We will assume whatever you say is still party policy, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay. That's why when I mentioned my policies, I did not only mention when it comes to governmental issues. I went down to the grassroots and to the local people. So most of these people, if you see they're still supporting FGM, that's simply because they don't know the repercussions or the harmfulness it does to women. But on the other side too, you hear women telling you, if a girl is not circumcised, the person is not decent. So some will tell you is the religious norm.
What is your party position? Yes,
my party position?
No, FGM is good, it's bad, it's ugly, it's beautiful. What is it? What is your party position?
My party position is, it's debatable. We'll talk to them. We'll talk to both.
So it's a negotiation?
It's a negotiation thing,
for
yeah.
Your party? For
my party, yeah.
So yes for party and no for Demba?
Yeah, so if we have more yes, then we vote it in, it is yes. If we have more no's, no's. Because we don't want to impose on people that this is what you should do or this is what not you should do. Because we know we are in a religious country and in an African society.
Thank you very much, Yamundao. Coming back to you, Tida, do you have any reactions, women having access to land, to own property, or marital rape? Your mic.
Thank you. The land issue is very important because women are farmers in this country. Most of the farming are done by women all over the country. They are in the gardens, they are in the furrows, they are in the land to cultivate coos, groundnut. So for them to be given equal right with men in terms of land leadership is very important. Under the GMC government, we are going to put a law that women will be entitled to land as men are entitled to it. When you talk about married rape, actually the woman's life matters to us. Under our leadership, we do not want to see women crying because of rape. Rape in generally is bad, but as far as marriage is concerned, if they feel they can't go anymore, we don't see there should be time for them to move ahead. You either separate than abusing the woman on bed. We are not going to tolerate it. Thank you.
We are not going to tolerate it. We'll come back to you, Honorable Yakumba. Any reactions to FGM or to marital rape?
I think we've stated clearly what our party's position is on FGM. And I would just like to remind us all that FGM is already illegal in this country. I think a law was passed, if I'm right, in 2013, criminalizing FGM. So those that are still doing it, I think we are the position where the current government itself is not implementing the legislation. We are all aware that these practices are still ongoing, and I would assure you that a UDP government will take the implementation of the FGM laws very seriously. That's my reaction. On the issue of marital rape, I'm not sure is yet to be criminalized. I also, on a personal level, I would say, this is not party policy, I feel marital rape should not happen, and if it happens, I think there should be law to address that, but I don't think right now we have that. And I would just like to react to Tida's issue that a GMC government would have a law to make sure that there is equal access to land. I don't think there is presently any law discriminating women's access to land. I think what is lacking is an action plan to ensure equal access to our productive resources. And a UDP government would put such plan into place. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Fatou Jallow, any reactions to any of the comments or statements made here earlier?
Yeah, Honorable Mr. Drame, my reaction is on the female genital mutilation. As we know, the APRC government is the government that rejected this female mutilation, genital mutilation in 2013. That for our party, APRC, we say zero tolerance to female genital mutilation, because before any action or before it is put into law, there are a lot of investigation done to see the importance and the dangers in female genital mutilation. And when everything is compiled together, finally it is illegal in this country. And is there we stand as a party still. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we will move. I think we still have time on women. My timekeeper is not communicating, so I'm really not sure. But we will begin with you again. And we want to know, what is GDC's policy with regards to women that do informal sector work? House helps, in other words, mindans, market vendors, cleaners in offices, etc. Would you have any sort of policy? Because they tend to be very vulnerable and oftentimes abused, in fact. What would be your party, GDC's position, and what would you do for women in that cadre?
In a GDC government, we want to set a policy, because we know there's an act against abuse of women, more especially women that are vulnerable and work in houses. So we want to set up a data. We want to set up a data in our policies that whosoever is working, every individual in this country will have a data on you. So which will ensure the easiness of us accessing those people that are vulnerable, people that need aid, people that are abused, and even criminals. Because it's only in Gambia you go in our border posts or get into our places without, all we have is our ID. You could come in a place and do things or do issues. Nobody could hold you or hold you accountable. So we feel creating a database is something that will help us to moderate women affairs easily. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll come to you, GMC. GMC, what would you do? We have seen the recent introduction of Ministry of Gender. The name changed. I think in the beginning it was Ministry of Women, but now it's been referred to as Ministry of Gender. Let's assume for a minute that you win on the 5th of December and you are in government. What would be the first thing you would do in that ministry for women?
The first thing I would do as a Minister of Women Affairs, I want to look into the health care system of our women. Women are really suffering in this country. If you look at the health sector, a lot of women are dying, either during labor or just ordinary sicknesses, because they do not have money to cure themselves. I would make health sector available to all the women all over the country. We will make sure no woman in this country will travel more than 5 kilometers without getting a health post, whereby even if it is going to be a one single room with a health assistant, so that they can have their checkup. If it is necessary to go to the health center, they will facilitate those things for them. And I would make the health system free for the women, especially those who are having children at their age. The healthcare system will be free for them. And those two working as farmers, I will make sure they are introduced to a modern system farming whereby manpower will be used less and the production will high. And I will also invest in helping them to store their goods, which are not sell at the time they went to sell them. At the same time, open international market for them to be able to sell those goods outside of the country. At the same time, I will stand women with disabilities. I know if God didn't give you enough what he has given to others, there is problems in performing certain duties. I would make sure I stand with disabilities in women so that they can take care of their children. They can also work and earn instead of sitting at the bank sides to beg. I would discourage that totally. And I will also stand with women on training. Any work they are doing, if you are a businesswoman, we will introduce you to investment. You need to learn how to do certain business because they are doing it for so many years, but they didn't see any improvement there. They will sit on bidons at the market, selling inside the pans. For so many years, no development. I will make sure that will change. They will also move from selling inside the pan to a shop. And I will also introduce them to training.
Madam Tila, you're getting heated, but you're running out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Yakumba, we're coming back to you now, and we're going to look at an issue that has also been very prominent in the media lately. Gender-based violence. Women are being treated like footballs in marriages now, been beating red, blue, white, and been treated in ways that are very demeaning and in most cases just general abuse. If a UDP government comes into effect, what would you do and what would you say your policy would be on gender-based violence?
As it stands,
Mike. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jame. As it stands now as a country, we quite have a lot of laws addressing gender-based violence and violence in relation to sexual violence and the rest. And as a UDP government, we will continue to support women and also men because it's important they understand human rights issues and to identify cases of violation, demand access, seek redress, and help them to enjoy a dignified life. We would also ensure the harmonization and domestication and implementation of the international protocols and conventions with national laws, particularly those relating to gender-based violence. We will enact laws, continue to enact laws that will prohibit all forms of gender-based violence and ensure the full enforcement. I think enforcement is the problem because most of the cases regarding gender-based violence, I think the police are key because they are the first point of call. And I think it is important, this would be part of our security reform policies to train the police since they're the first point of call on these kind of issues, for them to understand how to handle such cases when they come across them. This would be one of the areas that we are going to focus on as a UDP government. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, we'll come back to you, APRC. For some reason, you always come last because of the way we do it, but I think that's also a good position to be in. Would you not say? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Now, I think it may be essential, Madam Chair, you'll have to excuse me. I think to wrap up this segment, it may be important to give each of you 2-3 minutes in a language of your choice to just elaborate on some of these issues that we are touching on, so that by the time we go to youth, we will not come back to women. And then closing statement, you'll have a choice of answering the statements as you deem fit. Now, we talked about certain issues that our women are also concerned with. This is for you, Honorable Jallow. And key among them is having opportunities at the workplace, in government, in places. Honorable Yakumba has said 30% is their policy, whether it's in cabinet or is in other sectors, that women will have 30% representation. What is APRC's position when it comes to giving women as good an opportunity as men in this country?
Thank you very much, Mr. Drame, for that wonderful question. APRC is not a new party for Gambians. APRC have been empowering women. The first vice president in this country is a woman, and it is appointed by the APRC government. The first National Assembly speaker is a woman, that is Honorable Fatmata Jahumpa Sise, was appointed by APRC. The first governor, West Coast Region, Sifai Hydra, was appointed by the APRC government. So the APRC, the first female general in the Gambia Armed Forces, was appointed by the APRC government. So just to give you a short summary, that APRC have been standing to defend women, to empower women in all the positions, being it a ministerial position, being it local government, being it a national assembly. They are always there to support women, to make sure that women are seen, women are heard, and women are empowered in all action. So this same policy remains. We are still there to empower more women, and we started from the grassroots. That is to sponsor the girl child free education for girls. That is empowering women from the grassroots. The APRC government has done that, and we are still up to that, to bring in more project or more issues that will empower women, that will make women to be heard in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jallow. Now to Keba. If Keba has any questions before we wrap here, it will be great to run those questions. Did any of you pass any questions to Keba so far? If not, we'll give you a few minutes to do that. Now, Ms. Yamundao, when we talk about women in these parties and in these positions, a lot of us are of the view that you get all of these names, the women this, the that, when in fact it's still the men that are making the decisions. Would you not say this is the case also in GDC?
No, that's not the case in GDC, because in GDC, like I told you, we have a deputy party leader who is a woman, and we have.
Could be by name.
No,
Do
it's
they
not
actually,
by name.
are they effective?
No,
Do
they
have
are
a
very
voice?
effective. It's not by name.
Okay.
The youngest press secretary is a lady. I'm the PRO of KMC, and I'm also a lady. So we are always involved in decision-making boards. We took decisions and we table and reason with the men, because it's true, women cannot go without men. And men too cannot go without women. It's a collective responsibility. But in my party, gender does not matter. What matters is who's efficient. If you can do the job, then you're there, regardless of your gender, skin type, tribe, or age.
Okay. Now, I'm going to throw the same question to you again, Ms. Tida. Women, do you think really, in your party or in any other party, do they just not have these names as a token? I mean, you are PRO, you are this, you are that, just by name. What do you think?
No, actually in GMC it's not by name, because my position, nobody is my boss there. I am responsible for that media. So I do my work. I only consult when it is necessary. So it is not by name. And other positions too are handled by women on their capacity. In my media team, I'm the only lady. The rest are men. So I'm their boss. So they have to answer to me. So that means it is not by name. They know they have to answer to me, and I'm doing my work as expected. So other field too, in the executives, we have women who are also top senior officers there, and they are doing their work. They only consult. But what people think we are in our executives just by name, in GMC is a different issue. If we are given a portfolio, you have to know your responsibility and you have to do it. If you cannot do anything, it is not bad to consult each other, but that does not mean men are responsible to do all the works for us. No, those days have passed. Thank you.
Those days are fast gone. Honorable Yakumba Jaite, what would be your reaction? Women are just being used to clap at these parties and being given titles and no responsibility.
Well, not in my party. I can confidently say that. And we've all witnessed what has happened in 2016 when the UDP executive members of the UDP, almost all the executive members of the UDP were incarcerated for going out to demand the dead body of Solo Sandeng, dead or alive. And when this happened, there could have been a dearth in leadership. But we had our deputy party leader, Ajiyam Seka. She stood up and took the reins. And she took the party through and made sure we had a coalition, representative of the coalition who ended up being President Adama Barrow, who won. And also during the fight, the UDP women were at the forefront of the fight. We saw what happened with the Kalama Revolution. So this means that we have a voice in our parties and we are encouraged. And I will just give you a recent example of what I witnessed with my party leader. The student members of the UDP student wing came to visit to make a presentation, and they came with one woman. One woman in the group, a young woman, and she was quiet throughout the discussions. And the party leader noticed and told her, well, you are just one, but you need to assert yourself. People need to know you are present. So this goes to show the kind of leadership we have in place and the kind of value he gives to women and the importance of our voice, how he valued the importance of our voice in the decision-making process of the party, and that will translate when we come into government.
Thank you. Honorable Fatou Jallow, APRC. Do you think women are being used by politicians only to get in office and get dumped at the end of the day? Yes, no?
For our party, APRC, I said no. Women are really empowered. Women are given responsibilities. They are not just there to clap and dance. No. I am one example of it. I am the deputy youth mobilizer of the party and also a ward councillor. And during that time, it was very tough, but they said, we need female to represent us. We need women to represent us. So you have to go and represent us. Because they see the competency in me. That is why they push me to go. And lot of them, all our structures, if a man is chosen, the seconder will be a woman. And they are respected in their position. They are given their dues as a woman. And they are also participating effectively as they are chosen to be in that position. So the APRC party is just there to empower the women, to make sure that women are heard anywhere, let them come out with their decision and share with people. So we are always there for women, and they are not just keeping us there to be clapping and dancing. No, we are a politic of difference because, as you can see, APRC is not in the government now, but we are the most popular and the most strongest party in the country. The most strongest opposition party in the country is because women are there to give the engine to the men, to our party leader, to make sure that the party is still functioning, is still very strong and going on fine. So I thank you all.
Thank you, thank you. in a moment, let's see what Keba has. Let's see what Keba has. You have a mic somewhere for Keba, or you just want him to pass the note to me? Either way, whichever is faster and easier. Okay, thank you. Okay, interesting question, but it's for you, Yamundao. It says the GDC had 7 candidates who stood as National Assembly, I suppose, for the elections and lost to other parties. Okay? What has the GDC done for those women that represented 50% of all female candidates in the last National Assembly elections?
Okay, those 7, not only those 7, because we have 7 MPs, but we have a few more that are that vouchered it, that stood for councillorship. As that now, some of them are in skills training, are doing skills training. Others are in other institutions. Example, Stratford and GTTI, because we feel leadership is a process. Because they failed during the former councillorship elections or MP elections does not mean they are incompetent. So we would, because the party is a new party, so, and we have a lot of young women there, so we're thinking of molding them more and getting them prepared educationally for the next coming elections in future.
Okay, now I'm being told we spent more time on this, and then we may not have the same opportunity to do in youth and children. So can we borrow the local languages and end with that at the end of the debate, or would we want to do a few minutes now based for women and then go into youth? Sort of, but then you can choose a language of your choice. We'll do that quickly. So let's start with you, Yamundao, 2 minutes. Timekeeper, please, let's keep these 2 minutes on.
Okay. maa ngi nuyu suma mbokki jigéen ñi ak waa réew mi nga xam ne tey teewee nañ muy koy seetaan muy koy déglu ba pare di jaajëfal Haruna mi nga xam ne moo indi initiative bi. If not for the first time, mënuma remember when women in political parties ñu come together for debate. ba pare di sargalal suma moromi jigéen ñi fi nekk ndax gisewuma leen ne si yeneen political party lañ nekk, dama leen gisee ne ay jigéen lañ ni man. te it is high time jigéen yi jugee si suñ bobul si génn si laaxute buñ nekkee, because luñ baaxoo xam jigéen ñi in politics mooy tàccu ak fécc ak toppe kese. waaye fu mu ne nii jigéen yi dañ jóg takka seen diggay, ndax góor gu fi successful jigéen moo la boot moo la rogante. So maa ngi ñaax ñoom xale jigéen yi nga xam ne ñoo nekk into politics du lu easy nag, if I must confess du lu easy, parce que bari na ñoon jigéen yi neen ñooy xeexante. man dama feel ne góor ñi duñ suñ problème, ñoon jigéen ñi neen ñu supportante o ñu endorsante mooy suñ problème, te ñoon ñoo uppa. te góor guñ fi taxawal jigéen ñi buñ la falutee mënuloo falu. so maa ngi ñaax jigéen ñi nañ jéem a try ñu avoid loolu noonu. te the upcoming elections bu ñëw nii ngir yàlla ak yonente bi nañ ko def peacefully, because suñ toppee góor ñi si xay giñ nekkee ak xeex ak ŋàññiwante bi ñoo seen njëkkaa torox. mbate parce que kuy daw looy xalaat mooy ana suma jëkkër ana suma doom yi. so message boobu laa am. ñu moytu social media bi tam, because of social media bi léegi ñu ngi see sanante voice notes di si waxaat lu ñaaw a ñaaw. léegi dinaa ñëw si suma party policy, mooy suma party GDC mooy the only party bi nga xam ne in all the constituencies in this country, after being 4 years yi nekk opposition nii, yóbbu nañ fa mbete sampa nañ fa marché, sampa nañ ay lopitaan, defar nañ ay yoon, defar nañ ay tali,
ñu ne waxtu bi xoj
ñu ngi dingale jigéen ñi si seen ay jàng.
ñu ne waxtu bi xoj na la. You want to borrow your 1 minute? You have a right. You have 3 1 minutes to take. You can take one of the 1 minutes now. Okay. So she's borrowing one of her 1 minutes. Go ahead.
ñoon dañ believe in social work. gomuñ rek ne we have to become a government before ñu njëriñ doomi réew mi before ñu njëriñ suñ askan. parce que suñ parti leader daf ñu day advice ne nit su dee tey yow yaa ngi si jaama nga gëstu sa dëkkandoor a ngi torox, kon yow sa jaama dese na. te dama fil ne jaama rek nekkut nga eewu si jaama jug si jaama toog si jaama. soo xiifee amuloo jaama, so ñaakee amuloo jaama. So we believe it's a party that more young people and more especially women in politics, comme ni ma ko waxee amul gox goo xam ne ñoon suñ liggéey eegut fa mbete suñ loxo eegu fa muy si lopitaan yi.
waxtu bi nag léegi jeex na. Yamundao, thank you so much. And Tida will come to you. You have 2 minutes, any language of your choice, to wrap this up.
Yo, assalamu alaikum. Bade musolu ngali konton mulbe jibe rola ani mulbina la nyi jibe la koteke. Mbe tenturoni jairo di la organize la mbele nyi eveno organize fobi alhamdulillah. Musolu ntol fanal bi felenga opportunity soto pour nga nyatili Gambia ko la ka fenfo mu yalon ko aben kono. Barni aji ben tol fanal nga palasol le mara e kafol kono. adu ntol believe tamit na wala mu ko palasol ñili manke danko doron palasoti ntol fana la palasol mu palasol lete mu yalon ko abe kuma yala pour banku do ko kono wala yake ndam fele nganyom musol jija mu yalon ko fana bota parti dolle to kana ke la parti yo represent jang be tentula wala be jayila wala ana bota je doron ka bambandi ko politiko musolu ikoni mobe ko kula ifana nyanta ka jiyodo mandinke jele wala mu mol sela fi nyawo nya pour musol yeta nyato on fangol melbi nyato ale opportunity dinna folon keta nyato kolti patiyol kono ani man sakundal to nse kelo ke nyawo nya pour musol yena nyato na ma tarantol fangol to ate kenola woto GMC party ntol be parerine pour ka musol ma koy pour ntol fanal yena nyato kana ke dron unhuti kafo kono muso mu ye almamo wulu aya kulu faketa mo kendote aka molbe salinde muso mu ye president o wulu aya kulu faketa moltema president oti anim place kotengol ni kotengol wo muso fololo mu tica foloti suwo kono woto muso wote korla nyaton kayala nyim bankun kan ate korla kadula doku nyim bankun kan bari nimman finti nko mbe muku la ko male drong e baaje la ko banko nyin na do ko be kole yala le katun ko nadi am folo kono 51% nyim bankun kan ntol wo mu so
tira wato bantala fereng fonge don to 1 minute la
don to 1 minute la nga je futal
okay one extra minute
so wo 51% all ni nata jibe dantandinde ben kono mul yalon ko woli karantale ye palasol mara bari mol mel yalon ko du wol man karando ibe suwol kono bari fanal be maman kanne pour la baluwol la fannala comme gadin Sénégal ñew Sénégal tia Sénégal comme bindelal in general ani jende njaayol mul yalon ke bebe marché wolto ñil fanal musol leti mu yalon ko wo marché wala mi tol fanal la office wolti so mba katala le kaaje ko musolu itol fanal la marché way si balu kendo soto je amanke ko mo mem ministati o mem permanent secretary wo damala janda kamoto kendo borende GMC government nanata musolu mbe mbulo dundal ko tole fo kanja wafila mi yalon kaka wafiro ke latri kunda afana mbala S5 o borende lale arabaraka.
Thank you so much, Tida Kijera, GMC. Now we go to Honorable Yakumba Jaite of UDP. 2 minutes, language of your choice, before we wrap up women.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jame. Just to state that UDP's commitment is to unapologetically target, improve the welfare and quality of life of women and addressing the high costs of living affecting women. Jigéeni Gambia, man sen doom sen xarit may wax ak yeen ñew di wax ak yeen ci turi suma parti United Democratic Party di len wax ne xam nañ sen taxaway ci rew mi di len wax ne xam nañ rew bi fim tollu ni niko olof yi di waxe jigen ya ko tié ma ñew nak di wax ak yeen en tant que jigen di wax ak yeen pour ngeen jappalé suma parti parce que bes buñ jëlé nguur bi bes buñ jëlé rew mi bépp jigen ak bépp doomi Gambia dina yek suñ taxaway ci yefi jigen particularly jigen yi liggéey ci agriculture ak farming jigen yi liggéey ci agriculture farming xam nañ ne dafa jafe pour jigen yi di am collateral guarantee ci banque yi pour am xaalis pour liggéey loolu UDP government dina ci taxaw ba make sure ne jigen yi am nañ access to xaalis pour liggéey jigen yi am jafe-jafe pour am access pour ci am land pour bay UDP government dinañ ci taxaw ba make sure fu góor mun a amee laan jigéen yi am nañ si laan jigéen yi nekk si marché bi di jaay seen légumes yi suñ toogee duñ am fuñ ko denca gis nañ Talib Bensouda lim def KMC create for storage facility UDP government dinañ taxaw ba loolu am si region bu nekk si Gambia nga xam ne jigéen bu jaay sa jaay jeexut di nga am foo ko denca mu wàññil la yaaxu bi jigéen yi dee data wane na ne 556 juróomi téeméeri jigéen ak juróom fukka juróom benn dinañ dee si am doom et si every 100,000 live births loolu UDP government dinañ si taxaw seet loolu lan moo ko waral make sure ne jigéeni Gambia
waxtu xoj na la ñu may la 1 minute
dinaa lépp suma 1 minute bi make sure ne jigéeni Gambia am nañ access to prenatal antenatal care bu enough boo xam ne dina mun a wàññi dee bi ñoo dee si am doom parce que benn jigéen deserve pour dee si am doom inshallah jërëjëf.
Thank you very much, ladies. It's really great, and I think we're going somewhere. So there is a question here. Keba brought it late. I think we will deal with it later on. Because I'm being warned that we need to move on. So we're going to move to the second segment of the debate today, which we're going to dedicate on youth, young people. Young people. So we'll start with you, GDC, as always. So Ms. Yamundao, let's begin with you. Education in the schools. It's been called Pop FLE at some point. It's been called sex education at some other points. And now it's been called whatever name it is. GDC government, what will you do to educate our young people in the school system? Because if we don't, we're having a lot of unwanted pregnancies, we're having rape, we're having young people experimenting on each other and teaching each other, influencing each other, learning each other. So would you say this should be part of the curriculum? And if yes, what is GDC's policy?
Yeah, it should be part of the curriculum because, like we know, most of us spend more days, hours with our teachers than our normal parents. Most of the time, if they close at work, is either they're cooking or doing something else. Sometimes they're even busy to ask you, how was your day in school? So I feel it should be included in the curriculum. And it's important that we educate our young on how to take care of themselves or to safeguard themselves, to protect themselves. Because if they don't know, they might jump into something that might harm them in future or through peer pressure. So that's why we feel it should be established in our school systems. And we were in a GDC government, we are planning to introduce vocational training. In that vocational training, we are not only concentrating on skills training, or quality educational training, or cultural platforms. We are also thinking of disciplinary measures, which is very paramount in our schools. Which should be paramount in our schools, because if students are not disciplined, sometimes it's very hard. I was a teacher before, and I know in a class sometimes you might have 1 million kids, but each and every one of them has a habit of its own.
Be careful with that million, because before it makes the headlines tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
You
might have, for instance, 20 to 30 kids in a school, in a classroom, and each and every one of them comes with his or her own background or home training. That's what they portray, that's what they bring. Sometimes it might not be the case, because you see some parents, if you tell them your son or daughter does that, they practically denies it, because he or she has not been taught such. But who knows? We have these streets in between both schools and our homes. So I feel it's very important, and in a GDC government we're going to introduce these systems in educating our youth about their growth and how to take care of themselves and safeguard themselves too.
Thank you, thank you. 2 minutes up. Ms. Tida, one of the problems that affect our young people is the issue of migration. We call it the back way. Young people are suffering and dying in the deserts and in the high seas. What would the GMC government do about migration?
Under the leadership of GMC, we are going to create work opportunity for our youths, because these youths who travel outside this country on back way, they did not go because they feel like to travel. They did not go intentionally. But because of the lack of job opportunity in the country, some of them complete schools, they don't have work to do, they are sitting at home. Some even have work, but the work they have, the salary they receive cannot even take care of their problems. You don't talk about their parents. So this frustration normally take these youths out of the Gambia to go through this Mediterranean Sea. Some died in the sea, some crossed. And those even cross still now are staying in the camps. They cannot even work and send money to their family. So I feel it's the responsibility of the government that felt their responsibility on the youth sector. On the GMC, we are going to provide work for our youths, because we have a good land for agriculture in this country. Our river is here. We are going to introduce youths on training. Those who did not have like higher education to be able to work in higher institutions will also go under training to work for themselves. For example, in the skill sector, we have sectors like tailoring, carpentry, motor mechanic. These are sectors government should invest so that youths can have work. When they have work and they are earning salaries, a good salary for that matter, at the end of the day, they will stay here. But when you look at the situation in this country, most of these works are done by foreigners. Not actually, our youths are not really, it's not that they don't want to work, but most of them doesn't have the skill. So the government...
Time, you want to borrow a minute?
Yeah, I want to borrow a minute.
So this would be your second minute.
So it's the government's responsibility to provide all those facilities for them so that they can also work. At the end of the day, everybody wants to live good. But if you are sitting in your own home, you cannot even provide half a bread for your family, then you feel you are useless. And most of us, the families we come from, we feel that we cannot just sit at home seeing our parents working and giving us food. So this frustration take the youths this back way. On the GMC government, youths, don't worry. There will be enough job opportunity for you in the Gambia. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Tida Kijera, GMC. And by the way, I wanted to make sure this debate goes all women. So the designer of this wonderful outfit is a woman. Fightess at Hendon Court sponsored this outfit today. So it's really, really great. So let's move on now. I think we talked about rape, but it's increasingly with young people below 18, being abused by trusted people, uncles, fathers, people that are supposed to be looking after these young women, girls, abuse them at home, making them pregnant, sometimes very difficult for them to express themselves, other times getting unwanted pregnancies out of it. But also, if you can marry that point with sex education in the schools. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Jame, for that very important question. I think sex education is very necessary in the schools to teach these young people about their rights, and particularly if they're not aware of their rights, they won't even know they have the right to report these cases. And most of the time, because these abuses happen very close to home in most cases, they're afraid to go out and report these cases to the police. So the UDP government, we have a policy to actually revive the curriculum of the basic secondary schools, to involve this kind of education schemes into the curriculum so that it will be mandatory for students to be taught about their basic human rights in relation to sexual abuses and violence. I think it's an important thing we would definitely take up as a party.
Thank you. And we come back to APRC. You've been in government before. The back way happened during your government. A lot of things happened also with young people. And APRC has credited itself for University of the Gambia, GRTS, first female vice president, first. But what have you done specifically for young people? And what will you do for young people if you win in December 2021?
Thank you very much, Mr. Drame, for that question. We have done a lot for Gambian youths. The NYSS is introduced by the APRC government, thereby to encourage the youths to go and learn skills and other activities so that they can be able to keep up themselves. And if you go to the musical industry, the APRC government has tried a lot. During our time, you have a lot of musicians coming up, a lot of young musicians, male and female, and which were sponsored by the former president, just to empower the youths and the women, the youths to be able to take up themselves, you know, to get something to hold on. Because most of these musicians, they all finished school and they were unable to get job because not everybody will sit at the office. So this is another way that the government opened for them, encourage the tourism and the culture industry so that youths can come on board. The PIA, the Navy and other areas, you know, we also bought a lot of boats to the river to make sure that we encourage the youths to go and help the Gambians, because in terms of tabaski and other feasts, when these Senegalese go for their tabaski feasts and other things, we face a lot of problem to get fish. So we bought a lot of boats and take it to Tanje and other fish riverside to make sure that we empower the youths to get something out of that work, because we want to make youths useful in this country. And definitely, there are a lot of youths who went to Bagwe, but it's not because of the government was not doing anything for the youth. The government was trying very well to make sure that Gambian youths are engaged, are up to something. But because of peer influence, some of them cannot. Some people were in government, some people were working, some people have their tailoring shops, they have their shops, but still now they want to go to
You want to borrow a minute,
yes,
or you want to stop?
Yes. So
this would be your second minute, or your first?
First.
This is your first minute. Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
So the Gambia, this APRC government is still ready to help the youths, because there are a lot of plans that we have put in place, but because of the 2016 election issues, but still now those plans are on, and when we come back to government, we are going to make sure that all Gambian youths in this country will be happy with the party, because we will make sure that, because there is no government that can go or that can function effectively without the youths. They are the leaders of tomorrow. So if you want to go, you have to empower the youth, bring them up, let them see themselves in the system, and let them take part in the system so that the government can work effectively. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. And Yamundao, you said you wanted to talk about the issues of migration. That's what you were whispering. But now you have a chance to react to any one of them for 2 minutes. So migration or anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to react to migration because I feel it's a very sensitive issue. Because it's not just about them losing their lives or risking their lives. What if they are deported and brought back? Most of them are stigmatized. So in a GDC government will try to have a reprocessing or rehabilitation centers for those youths when they come back. Because we see most of them when they come back, they come shy, some come bitter, some come disappointed, because most of them sold everything they have, or maybe their parents gave them everything they have. So some of them even come back mad.
So your GDC policy
So
would
our
be?
GDC policy is we will create rehabilitation centers, not only for those who are migrants, but even our youths that are in the prisons. So we feel youths are very important in our society, so we feel we should not cast them away. We should bring them closer to ourselves, because as youths we are bound to make mistakes. And if we are thrown away by our society or by our parents or government, who will take care of us? Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Tida, any reactions to any of that as discussed?
I think I should come before Tida.
Huh?
I think I should come before Tida. Isn't that how it works?
No,
okay.
It's always this way. Tida, then you, then, yeah. So APRC said they've been here 22 years and they've done a lot. They want to be back in 2021. What do you say?
We are in the democracy, so they also have right again and go into politics. That has no problem with that. I just want to also comment on, when we talk about youth, we are not only talking about men youths, but female youth as well. They also have problems in this country. Most of them complete school, they find it difficult to have a job. That leads some of them into wrong positions in going in for things that are risking their life. It is some time ago we learned some Gambian ladies were even going through this bad way. Some are going to the Arabian countries to seek a work there they're supposed to do in this country. But maybe for one reason or the other, we all feel too big not to do certain things here. But when we travel in those Arab countries, we go and do that. So on the GMC government, we are going to take care of, because women's life is very sensitive. Women's youth, the shortness of our life can lead you to so many things that will damage your life completely. And if we do not have a youthful youth in our country,
and that is why we saw a high rise of migration during the Jammeh regime. And a UDP government take cognizance of the fact that investment in the youth is key. So we are no longer saying youth empowerment. For UDP, it is going to be youth investment. We are going to invest in our youth. And we are going to use agriculture as the main driver for investment in the youth. The UDP government intends to zone the country. I would give you an example, for example, CRR. We know that rice farming happens in the CRR. There is land for rice in the CRR, and we've seen private sector investment doing very well when it comes to rice farming in CRR. For example, Maro Farms. The UDP government would expand through self-employment, agriculture, and ICT-led growth. These areas have the capacity to create jobs. And also, when we zone the country, the youths of the CRR, the UDP government would provide funds, agricultural funds, for them to be able to start farming in a place like CRR. This will even help with the rural-urban migration. We'll keep them where they are and create opportunities, mechanize farming as well, train the youths, teach the youths. We are not only going to provide funds, because if you provide the funds and allow them to do what they want, we don't see the results, and this is what has been happening. We are going to continue to train, monitor, and evaluate these investments when we give them
you
to
want
the
to
youth.
borrow a second minute? You had one
yes, we'll also create a conducive environment, set the right framework, and facilitate collaboration between the private sector to ensure that our youths obtain the right skills, leading through increased employability to the establishment of specialized skills center. Like I said, we are going to create at least 10 skill centers across the region to make sure the youths of this country can develop the necessary skills to move the country forward, because we have realized not everyone is meant for the classroom. And this is one area, a resource of the youths that this country hasn't tapped, that is the skills. And the UDP government is ready and prepared to take this on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. APRC, any reactions to any of the statements made as far as young people are concerned?
Yes, I have some reaction. That is back way, I think, yeah, I will agree that it comes during our time. But it's not because of they are not engaged. The National Youth Council was introduced by the APRC government, and a lot of achievements were done from that youth council. Even right now, some of the youths are benefiting and they are engaged in the National Youth Council. You have a lot of achievements that we have done to make sure that the youths are recognized in the country. That is the, first of all, the University of the Gambia. Before people will finish school, they would like to go and further study to the abroad, but because their parents don't have the money, they cannot go to any of the university. They have to stay at home without doing nothing. But when our government came, we built a university, and a lot of Gambians were going there, and they are youths, both male and female, going to that university now, enjoying. Some of them have finished, they are working, and most of them were sponsored by the government. The APRC government gives scholarship of more than 250,000 scholarship for the Gambians. And 115 youths are sent abroad to go and do further studies in this country. Even if you don't like the government or you don't like the head of the government, but let us say the fact that he has done a lot for the youths. It is not, there is no government that will say, I will satisfy the entire country 100%. There is no government that can say that. If you say that, you are fooling your people. And let us say the fact. Gambia is small, that's true. But even as a compound head, a father, in your house, you cannot satisfy your family members all. So it's not possible for the country, for the government to do all what the Gambian people need. No. But we have done our quota for the Gambian people. Let us be honest. We have done a lot for the youths, and we have, and we are planning.
If you have done a lot, you still want to come back in 2021?
Yes, we still have to come back. This is politics, because we have a lot of plans.
To finish some work that is pending?
Yes, we have some pending plans. We want to come
You want to use a second 1 minute? Or
yes, the second 1 minute. Because even yesterday, we come from a tour yesterday. And in North Bank, we give 200,000 to youths in North Bank. We went to CRR. We give milling machines to youths and women of that area. We went to...
Is that because the elections is coming?
No,
to be fair, I just want to clarify. So is that because there's election coming, or this is something you would normally do?
We have been doing this well before Yaya Jammeh is gone. We have been doing it. And even after when he left, our people are asking us that we are suffering. You have been doing this and this and this for us. Now Yaya Jammeh is not here. What are we going to do? We said we are still coming back and do things for you. Where Yaya Jammeh stopped, he is not here, but the party is existing, and the party's lovers are here. Our party, Yaya Jammeh, was doing for you, so that you will not forget the APRC party. And that is why still now we gain the popularity in this country, because we just don't fold our hands because of Yaya Jammeh is not here and leave our supporters. We still stood firm to make sure that our supporters, let them feel Yaya Jammeh is not here, but APRC is existing.
You want to take your last 1 minute?
That is what I have for you guys. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, if you react, then that means everybody will react again. And that's what we had. Maybe in your closing 2 minutes, we can address it there. No, because if she's the last to speak, that's why you would hear her reaction last. Because you did first, remember? And then we went around, we're here. Now, what we're going to do now is probably do the closing statements for youth before we go into children, because we don't want to be here beyond 7 o'clock. I know I will be faulted for this. They said they wanted 90 minutes, but I'll stretch it to almost 2 hours so we can get this done. So, Ms. Yamunda, we begin with you. 2 minutes, any language of your choice. Talk about youth and your GDC's policy as far as young people are concerned. 2 minutes.
Man saa yu ma was yëfi ndaw yi dama ne education is a fundamental pillar loo xam ne la waruñ ko foyentoo ndaxte ndaw ñi soo leen bëggee encourage bëgg leen a empower xamal leen so gis nañ ne fu mu ne nii there are so many tertiary institutions si biir dëkk bi but they are unaffordable. So in a GDC government ñu ngi leen a dig ne dinañ dugal seen loxo si ndaw ñi ak si seen jànga ba pare skills training loolu moo waral taxawaal bu bari bi. GDC bëgg nañoo implement skills training workforce boo xam ne mun ngaa jànga ba pare you could still have choice to do any other skills that you prefer or you're good in, because ñëpp xam nañ ne nit ku nekk dafa juddu waaye dafa juddu ak xam-xam bi la yàlla may. So xëy na am na xam-xam yoo xam ne sa yaa ngi ko mun du nit a la ko jàngal. So bëgg nañoo create loolu ak vocational training development te nekkul ne rek si réewum taax mi lañ ko emal, parce que in a GDC government dañ gis ne ñëpp benn lañ. Policies yoo xam ne la duñ ko emal si Greater Banjul area bi dinañ dem region by region, parce que ñoon suñ développement emaluñ ko rek si réewum taax yi dañ gëstu ñoo xam ne they are the less privileged ak ñoo xam ne ñu si dëkki kaw gi tam. Ba pare in a GDC government dinañ fu mu ne nii mun naa wax ne suñ cultural platform dafa suux te dinañ ko suuxalaat when it comes to ndaw ñi. Ba pare dinañ create transportation, parce que gis nañ ne fu mu ne nii transportation is an issue. Benn moto yi doyuñ nit ñi ñaareel tamit tali yi doyuñ ñooñu ñëpp gis nañ luñ encounter before ñu egga si plateforme si. Sometimes da nga nekk diggante Serekunda o diggante Tabakoto ba venue bi it's almost 2 hours before ma fay egga. So these are issues we go into. Ba pare bëgguñ ta em rek si train xale yuy teg lañ bari na workshops bari na skills training centers da nga train ba pare toogaat. So bëgga nañu at least include a revenue boo xam ne dinañ ko teg si loxo xale yooyu noonu. Ba pare form a task force boo xam ne ñoo within those kids that are attending it pour di leen mold gradually di leen teete di leen jàppale parce que bari na fi gis nañ ne si suñu liggéeykaay yu bari soo ne ndaw yi soo demee uti liggéey dañ la dee wax dañ bëgg a 5 years 9 years experience so dama foog ne xale boobu soo ko joxutee opportunity du mën a am 9 years experience whether you're from the university or any other tertiary bëgg nañ benn 1 year boo xam ne dinañ la mool jàngal la waaw dinañ la mool jàngal la nga mun a xam fan ngay teg sa tànk ak nooy def parce que man ànduma si ñuy ne ndaw ñi fu mu ne nii dañ war a have 5 years experience before they will be employed or 6 years experience suñu la joxutee opportunity boobu doo mën a am experience boobu so ñëw na sa besi suñu party level any position boo xam ne it's an elderly person or an elderly individual moo jël place boobu dañ dee bugg a ku ko deputize nekk ndaw ndax ëllëg soo fi nekkutee xale googu dina xam loo xamoon te da ngaa gis ne place boobu di domant dina continuer so dama feel ne Gambian youth loolu lañ ñàkk ku ñëw mool. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we'll go to Tita Kejera, GMC. 2 minutes, any language of your choice, on young people.
GMC la man sakundatu. Funding kewolu alla balunya munna number 1 priority leti. Harama dingo ni laftay balu kendo soto. Iba tambindi la sila jumal la wala mu londo foloti. Mo mondi wuluta nyim bankun kan. Foy tata foye karambungo damuta ka damuti la nursery school fokata university mbake lali free education ate kala fanan ko be concentrate la molle kan mol mel yallon ko alale hakkili diadi wala pour karangola safero la londo la side la mol bi je mel yallon ko e toluma o hakkili dia sotono bari ni tol fanal tata mecci karangola isa doku kenole mba mexo la fano o mecci karango mba yirwandi la banko kan adi tol fanal be mecci o karannale free ko nyin dol ka karambun karangol karanyaamen na free mba a mexo la fana fondinki ol mel yalon ko tol fanal mul la njur tolleti wol fanal la karango mbe lole fele kaje ko ise men keno yewol londo karang isaje se baluno wala ibaje la ko kuwol mul boko mobile dadal harama dingo mu yalo alaman singo diala niya samba tata e mobile dadal karango bari ale bulo diala abe wokeno la balotile so do fonal ni do fonal bari time otije nta fono la ni tata fana na arabic sector because ni nata jibe nyim bankun kambi e arabic karandindingol fanal be increase kanne wato wati mo jamal le be digol samba kan arabic karangola fokata darale mbang o kata asamba moroya pour ay taraje ka qur'ano tanka mbe wol fanal ketala le pour ni tol fanal parete la wo karangola i tol fanal be dinkiralle tale be mutala banko nyinkan pour ise baluno ate kala don ko ni tol fanal yela karango bandron ibe keno la oustaz ni imam damalte hane erial be nyim bankun kam yalon ko tol fanal si do ko keno woto yela dimbal balundi ntolte mo discourage de ilafta 46 famenna isi karanole ni lafta balu si famenna be ma ko la woleto natata ko ite kanyi do ko menke ite be nafri walla mba mexo la ko ngawo bunda yir wandite pour ite fananse
ha minute do dila
ha minute do fata dit
e wala mila minute la bango kodi
okay woto ngabla
ide sinya sawalta
woto ngabla jat
woto yabla iba ma bola
ba ma bola
okay honorable Yakumba Jaite 2 minutes
Thank you very much, Mr. Jame. I will take the opportunity to react to Ms. Jallo's issue about the APRCs. Basically, Jame's greatest achievement, I would say, was the creation of the university. This I would give to him. But it also turned out to be his greatest devil because the university students in 2016 played a key role in removing the dictator. It's one thing to give me a university, but it's another thing to abuse the resources that are supposed to fund the university, to put it in a position where the Gambia would be able to deliver first-class graduates in any field. This is what is lacking, and this is what was lacking in the Jammeh government and still lacking in the Barrow government. Recently, we approved the supplementary appropriation bill, and literally the Ministry of Higher Education had to lobby parliamentarians for us to allocate the 134 million needed for the scholarships. You've seen the recent strikes by lecturers of the university because their university is not fully resourced. A UDP government will actually remove the university from ministry. Allocations for the University of the Gambia would go straight to the university, because we've realized what is going on, that there is always a problem if you put the allocation in the ministry's budget and then they will decide how much they have and share what they have. But the university is a very important institutions in this country, and the UDP government is cognizant of the fact, and I'm talking to the students of the university at the moment, that you are our priority in the UDP, and we will make sure the university is fully resourced. We will make sure to turn the Gambia University, live up to its name and become a world-class institution. Thank you.
I think Honorable Yakumba is campaigning. But, but we will give APRC the final chance, as always, 2 minutes in any language of your choice. Put your mic on. No, you did.
No, I did not.
Oh, we had your reaction.
I did not.
Really?
You stopped at Yakumba and you changed to youths.
Really?
Yeah.
On women?
Yeah, I did not do my final remarks on women.
My apologies. So you want to bundle it together now?
Yes, if I will be given the opportunity.
Okay, let's give you 3 minutes, because that's an oversight on my part. So you can bundle the two together.
Okay.
Or let's say 4, right? Because that was 2 minutes before, 2 minutes now.
Okay, thank you.
But if you can make it shorter, it will be great.
Yeah, I will try. Okay,
in the interest of time.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum, mbadin Gambian Kolu. Haruna Drame mbe tentula mbe jayla yenying simfa minta pour ka Gambia musol fintindi pour ye diamu musol fanan salon ko musunyaton kolbe lorin Gambia nol yele ani momo bijang mbe jayla mbe tentula namonyo musol mil bijang mbe be jayla mbe tentula isonta minna pour kana nyin debate nyin aten, because musol wolo na problem motin kala fi kata nyato bari mbika hanyi katara nyato woyen na kuwol murundi koma bake ante se min fono Gambia musole wolon ko APRC man sakundaye minke Gambia musole kunu hani bimbe lori wasim fale kan nimma la fa mbuka tala, because APRC man sakundale akina musole fartita Gambia jang. APRC man sakundale akina musole ye fan soto e right soto kel lota dawda ngaloje kele decisiono ke dawda mbijele watu mo janning APRC man sakunda kana sojar musol man siya police musol man siya ka kilin naje hani no sol muso man siya minister kono ka muso kontile minister kilin fula wala ka ke muso te bare birin Gambia government nata naka APRC government nata wala musol so sembola pour ka lo politiko la ke la nyanto yitande andu wo jamale keta mol nyaaje nga jamale fonu njang ni wo botaje mbina min fola wolon ko fondinkel la karola university ya kumbaye min foto nyalo university nyin tolle ngalo anu biri ngalo ngakulle kije mi yalon ko na force bajol waye Gambia na fale katu na force protocol Mamadou Sabali be wolle kono Mamadou Sabali keta secretary general ti janne banko kan na man karanga mallondo sotate keno la secretary general katu ko banko secretary general ka doku andu wo mun tolla product lete tolle nga o karande university to jang so nga ku jamal leke min yalon ko nga Gambia fondinkel ma ko ele pour ye fango soto andu hani bi mbelori wasim falla ka je ko Gambian youth soul feo fendi muila na tolti mbati mandila la nyanta kala nyame ka tun tol man fen soto na man ke youth soul am balanta la fon tol la positionol na structure nka youth soul le dundije nenga keba kilin soto afulan jaw ka ke youth soul le anu fanan tol nga ma ko ro dati muneto free education kabrin tol la man sakunda nata nga free education leke for girls chocho siata iko haye be musol damale makoy kay man kam bandingol makoy say ako free education for all fo man soto jam o soto ta janne kam banding jamale 40 e jita Gambia college kabrin tolla time o joriti je ikadunne yeta college ye karan ye stipend o dila ibe karan kan ibe stipend o fanan dikela woketan tolla man sakundal bari sa en Gambia college jorole bije aya kinna do lafta kata ye school ban lafta kata college imantano because their parents imanko do soto e ba jola min university wotumo university freedom o be nyame bi amantara je wonyama facilities jama bije aman soto no kodo dol bije ikela fenko rifale because imam payment soto and wotumo if you have very good results ni lafta kata university Gambia government le ka jo na juri na government ye scholarship jo dindin jamale 40 jita wolbe place balle to bi ba pare na mo jamal le fintita banta kata londo kafu kata engineer nolti nata jebe karan dol kata scientist olti nata jebe karan ama jibe fonyi mu APRC ti fonyi mu UDP wala jolalon wala fulolon ama oke ate mine je wolon Gambia dingol lam nyanta ke makoyle anu aye makoyla nyante makoyla nyam woto Gambia nol komi ka fanyame ni mi yesus da samola aye kontongo dila konto wato sita ni koy bita koy ko siye sima bato ngamre nyanta jikila koy be sima sotola woto Gambia nol APRC government tol bi janne pour ka doko ke anum paretare pour ka doko ke ndung every time be doko ke la ka Gambia musol anin Gambia funding kol ke makoy ka je ko banko eta nyato ngabeta Gambia sotola
ngamra APRC ni UDP alba campagne la jang ngawla ko rosal la ko alba campagne la de carte fayo dum man si follow okay, so we will close this chapter and go to children, and we'll try to make it. Maybe we should have just bundled it with women, but since we're here now, we'll do it quickly. So we'll start with you, Yamundao. You always have the pleasure of starting. I think APRC actually have the best position. Coming last gives you all of the opportunity, but we will still begin with you. When it comes to children, what specific policies do you have, GDC, to improve better life, better conditions? Also, factoring, especially now that we are talking about polio, and we know the challenges polio would have for children and its effect. So maybe we go into your health policy for children as GDC.
Okay, our health policy for children in GDC, like you said, it's a chain. We don't only concentrate on maybe their monthly that's their monthly nurse they go to. We also want to concentrate on the food that is given to them, because we see like most of these kids, they are affected because they lack nutrition in their systems. So in a GDC government, these are issues that we would like to address. Secondly, we know those in those hospitals that those children are attended to need qualified doctors and nurses. We also know we need equipment to make that hospitals work. We need a proper laboratory to diagnose those kids. So in a GDC policy, when it comes to children, these are a few things that we want to put into consideration.
Thank you so much, GDC. We come to Gambia Moral Congress, GMC, now with Tida. Any specific policies would a GMC government have for children?
Yeah, under GMC government, we'll make sure children have free healthcare system. Mm-hmm. From their mother's womb up to their infantry age. They wouldn't pay any butut to any hospital. Their health is the responsibility of the government, and under GMC government, we will take that responsibility health free. And we make sure under GMC government, children are not going to be abused. And they are not going to put force on them to work either on land or beg in the street. Under GMC government, you will never see children on the street begging, because it is not right. Children's rights will be respected under GMC leadership compared to international standards. Whatever is not happening to children in America will not happen to children in the Gambia. We will protect them and protect their lives. Under GMC leadership, we would also make sure children's education is free for them. And when they grow up, they will be catered for, because in developed countries, whatever amount is always kept for children when they grow up. It is not happening in the Gambia here. Under GMC government, we will cater children for their future, either from the government or from their parents' salary. At least some part of the butut will be kept for the children when they grow up, so that they know where to start. I thank you all.
Thank you. I've been bombarded with messages why NPP is not here. NPP is not here because NPP doesn't want to be here. They've been invited, they've been approached, so they're not here by choice. Let me clarify that. But they've been invited, they've been written to like all the other parties. And same way, I would like to thank GMC, because GMC is the only party that had the least time to prepare for this debate, because we contacted them on Monday and they agreed. So thank you, Tida, and thank you, Honorable Maifati, for agreeing to replace NPP on very short notice. Just to be clear, they've been approached and they've been written to. Honorable Yakumba, moving on, now that we are here, we're all happy we are here, by the way. And the debates will continue. Anybody we invite, if you do not come, we will definitely give the platform to other parties that are interested. We think the elections should be about ideas, should be about discussion. Look at the history we are making here today collectively. All women, one platform, talking about our country and what we need to do to fix it. I think this is a great opportunity for any party to not want to miss. So, Honorable Yakumba, coming to you, we are talking about children, but we are talking about also professional women raising children. We've seen in the developed world where the workspace is also created in a certain way to encourage breastfeeding mothers at work to have their specific areas, etc. Now, what would a UDP government do? What would you think to improve life for breastfeeding mothers? Or also, we look at professional women and how they are helped. Because we do know that, I think by law, 6 months, 3 months before, 3 months after. But besides that, what would you do for professional women, especially when they have children?
Thank you, Mr. Jame. I am one great example, and I would just share my experience. Actually, the law is, in the Women's Act, is actually 6 months maternity leave. There was discrepancy between it and the labor laws, which says what you're saying, 3 months before, 3 months after. But we have harmonized it. In the Women's Act, this is what we are going by, is 6 months. And the reason for the 6 months is because studies have shown that exclusive breastfeeding is very important to the mental development of a child. That is why a woman would be giving 6 months to stay home and exclusively breastfeed the child. The issue is returning back to work, or women that are in certain positions, like myself. I am a nominated member of parliament, and there is no proxy representation in parliament. If I'm out, I can't have someone vote for me in my absence. So when I had a baby in 2018, I took only 2 months leave and I had to come back to work. At some instances, the baby would be brought to parliament for me to breastfeed because I was, if what I pumped is finished, because I was exclusively breastfeeding for the first 6 months. And one thing a UDP government would do is to make sure through the Ministry of Women's Affairs, there is a gender mainstreaming in all government stakeholder institutions. One thing you could do to help working women is to have nurseries in this institution. For example, Parliament. Parliament could be built to have a simple nursery where when you come back as a woman parliamentarian, after the 6 months, you can have someone come, you can have your child in the nursery, and that would help so you can take breaks to breastfeed and come back. This is one policy that we would, it's part of our women policy, gender mainstream women issues in all government stakeholder institutions. This is, I think, one thing that is very important that we need to look at, particularly when it comes to women in politics. It's important, and young women as well, because if you want
to take your last minute, they're telling me it's time.
I will save that.
Okay, let's save the last minute, and then in your closing statements, perhaps you can come back to that. We are coming to you, APRC. I told you, your position is very lucky. You listen to everybody, and then you come last. Fatou Jallow, please, the floor is all yours. Oh, you want me to ask a question? Okay. Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question. Okay, but if any of our journalists have any questions in relation to children, we will also take them. For the sake of time, today we're not doing that mic going around. Yes. So we come to you, APRC. You've heard her, and we've also heard. But when it comes to children, do you think men, well, what would an APRC policy be on paternity leave? Maybe let's start from there.
Okay, thank you. For that one, APRC government, we introduced, I think, 10 days for paternity leave. That is for the fathers, so that, during labor, women suffer, but when we delivered, our husbands also suffered, because they will be running helter-skelter to look for the naming ceremony and other things. So men are given 10 days, but with the new government that we are coming up now, we are going to increase it, because men also need to help women to take care of.
Increase it to what? From 10 days to?
To at least 1 month, to help, because we are sitting down for 6 months. But if at that early age of nursing, it's very difficult for mothers, because we don't sleep at night. We're always busy with the child. So let the man also help us in nursing the child for that period of 1 month. Yeah, we will like to do that, so that we will help each other in the nursing of the baby. Yes.
We do the reactions. We start with you, the reactions. Do you have a reaction to any of the things that we have talked about regarding children? From anyone?
Yeah, the reaction I have is, in a GDC government will prepare better policies, because when a child is nursed, when a child is carried, given birth and nursed, it does not stop there. The child needs to be educated, the child needs to live, that child needs to be fed properly, and that child needs to be taken care of. So that child cannot have a better life if he or she's parents is not introduced to a at least standard way of living. Because we know in Gambia it's very hard. Most of the time it is women that sacrifice a lot in taking care of kids. So as for my colleague, Honorable Yakumba, that said, that shared with us her experience, I think those days are gone by that a female parliamentarian needs to be in parliament to vote for herself. We live in a modern technology world. Why couldn't she not share her ideas through her phone, or even vote through her phone? Because we know men don't go through maternity leave, or even if it is given to them, most of them don't observe it. They are not bounded, they are not held in the house on any responsibilities. Even when the child is sick, it's only few men that you see that take care of that child. Everything is centered and built on a woman. So I feel we should introduce such systems to easen up the burden on women, because we know as a women, not only do we have duties in our working place, we have duties also as a housewife and our kids, etc. Thank you.
It's an important question here now. I'll break the rules for a moment. We know she's the only one who's reacted so far. Yes, I know. You'll have. But this is an important question. I don't know how it escaped me. So I will throw it out there. And anybody interested in answering or responding to it will take it. Are there any plans in providing learning centers or in the schools for visually impaired children? And do any of these governments want to do that? A child with a disability, what would be your party's policy to make sure that child will not be wasted potential, will end up living a full life? What will be party policy? Anybody wants to react to it? Let me see. Okay, so we go GMC first, and then we go APRC.
Yeah, I think in my first speech I mentioned disability, either from children or youths. When we talk about youths, we are talking about everybody, despite your disability. On the GMC government, when we talk about children, we are talking about all. So you will be treated according to the sector of your life. If you have a vision problem, there will be special schools for those people. And those with, like some people, some children act abnormalities. So they too will have a special attention where they will take care of them. So we mean everybody. Nobody is out of it. Thank you.
Okay, your reaction now.
My reaction to maternity leave for men. On the GMC government, no. Dokubalia is too much. If men should go for maternity leave, how many times women give birth now? Every 2 years. So you need to go and sit at home 10 days, 20 days because your wife has a baby. What about men who have 3 wives? This is too much. And for women too, under GMC leadership, 6 months is too much. At least to breastfeed a baby 3 months is okay. So we give you 1 month at least at the heavy side, because I'm a woman, I know 8 to 9 months is always difficult. But let's just think about the work we have to do for our nation. Some offices are closed. You go there, you don't meet anybody there. Or they will tell you the person in charge is absent. That is very unfair. You are absent, you are also destroying something. So let's do not think of our own future or our own children and forget about other children. So some men are nurses. Some are working in institutions very sensitive in our life. So how can you be absent 10 days, 20 days because your wife has a baby? What do you do at home? We all know what is happening in the Gambia. How many men sit and even hold the baby?
Love like fire. Wow. Love like fire. Xam ngeen rek affaire bi xam ngeen fan la? Skincare la. 2020 lañ wax de. Waaw. Fii nag mooy Kerr fan, Kerr zero tache. Perfect skin. Skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek. Loo lañ soxlaati rek. Maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin, yéen xam ngeen fan la. Fii ngeen di ñëw. Suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon, xam nga doon xeesal ba laka xum. Éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi di waxee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw Skincare Plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skincare products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentey tamit si ay dàll man waaye man nag skincare mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner Kiwi Eye the whole range Lighten Up Gold
tomatine. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on and on. Lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox. Skincare plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu nga United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes, you know, fragrances, men's shirts, accessories. We do dresses as well. We do blouses. I mean, we do shoes. Name it, we do them. Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection. Zero task. Fu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task. Kenn waratu fi am problème kanam. Kenn waratu fi am problème picture. Boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii.
Love, love, love like fire. Bring my love, 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 love like fire.
I get it.
Alba.